but today I'm the greatest of all time. Thank you.
Never stop, I'll get it if I want it. Gotta make to myself a promise. I won't quit, keep going till I got it. I won't give up till I'm on top.
Yo, no, I ain't the type to give up. If I do something, man, I do it till I get what I want. I turn a business out of nothing into something I love. I got a poker face, but honestly, I'm not one to bluff. I flip a switch, never miss, man, I always stay up. Don't let them see you, always have a plan to stay tough. This life ahead of you ain't easy, it was built to be rough. But that's what makes a personality, is tragedy, bruh. So keep your head on your shoulders. Now we ain't out here moving rocks, we out here moving boulders. Now we ain't getting posterized, we out here making posters. And we ain't got nothing to hide, we move forward like soldiers. You better wake up for the pace up, or you'll pay up. Don't make love to the game, bruh, fuck the game up. Change up, rearrange stuff to your greatness. Same us for the way up, play the game, bruh.
Never stop, I'll get it if I want it. Gotta make to myself a promise. I won't quit, keep going till I got it. I won't give up till I'm on top, yeah.
You know I'm always honest, there ain't no way I'll ever stop it.
I won't quit, keep going till I got it. I won't give up till I'm on top,
I'm always flirting with pain, she like to hurt me and maim. I'm always working to change, but she's still lurking the same. I keep on building this dynasty while the haters be trying me, but they hate from inside.
All right, what is going on, everyone? Welcome to our edition of Unscripted, live here on the Elite Sports and Entertainment Network. I'm going to be your host and producer this evening, Logan Landers, and joining me to break down some college football playoff matchup games, championship games, a lot of fun games going on. As always, Jay McClellan. What's up, Jay?
Yes, I am doing well, and as you know, this is the first time we've done FCS, a full slate of it, so
yeah, man,
it should be rather fun, Logan.
I'm about to say, in our we'll call him our FCS and also Division II, Division III expert stack guy, Dustin Reese. Dustin, what's going on, brother?
Hey, this is the perfect time of year because it gets everybody involved with more than just the FBS side of things.
You're right. And you know, we get to shine some light on some teams who don't get a lot of love. You know, they're in comparison to the big FBS schools and whatnot, and we know their time's going to be coming here very shortly. Towards the end of 2023. But like Dustin said, there is some great football still being played. There was some last week, and then there's some this week. And we're going to get right into it, guys. So, Dustin, you're going to be leading off for all of these because you are our expert, so we are relying on you to help us out here. First game we have is a game we talked about both these teams last week in our FCS playoff preview. Go check that out, see if we got those right. We have NDSU taking on Montana out there with the Grizz. So, Dustin, who's taking this one, man?
I think Montana is played a lot better than North Dakota State, but you look at what North Dakota State has done since the playoffs started, and at this point, I think they're just on a mission. I've been saying it since the FCS playoffs started that they kind of felt cheated that they didn't get a top 8 seed. They kind of felt cheated that they didn't get a top 4 seed just based off of them losing to 2 of the top 3 teams during the regular season for 2 of their 3 losses. And I think the committee kind of held that against them a little bit as opposed to looking at their body of work as a whole. Because you look at what they've done since the playoffs have started. 66-3 their first game. Beat the number 2 ranked team in the nation 35-34. Went back on the road last week against the number 3 national seed and took care of business. They were actually up in that game, I think 24-3 at the end of the first quarter. So this NDSU team is continuing to show that once the FCS playoffs start, they are one of the top teams out there. And I think they're going to keep it going this week. And I think they take down Montana 35-28. All
right. Jay McLovin, who do you have winning this one, my friend? You got the Bison, or you think Montana out there with the Grizz are going to take this?
Yeah, it's interesting to me, man. Like Logan was, I mean, not Logan, like Stag, I was saying, they came off really super quick against South Dakota, scoring the first 5 times they had the ball. So, you know, these guys, if they get off to a fast start, you know, they could definitely take it to you, and the Bison can actually win this game. Yeah, so for the third consecutive week, they've played really, really well. The defense needs to keep pressure on Montana. Montana had a close game with Furman, and I remember even in the group chat, we were talking about how, you know, we didn't expect Furman to do so well as they did against Montana. So that tells you a lot. But, yeah, at the end of the day, man, I really, you know, I think Montana has a little bit better run game, but I honestly think that NDSU has a little bit better passing game. And I do want to point out the sack leaders for both teams, Cava at 6 and Wilson for Montana at 8. But, if you look at the rushing yards, NDSU has about 241 a game to Montana's 190. And if you look at it, the yards given up, Montana does give up a little bit more on their side of the ball at 203 to 191. So I'm gonna roll with that, man. I'm gonna roll with NDSU. I think it'll be a close game. I don't think it's gonna be, where they come out in first 5, possessions they get scores. It may be the first 3 that they get scores. Who knows? Mm-hmm. But I'm gonna say maybe 21-13 in favor of the Bison.
All right. My thoughts on this game is, when you look back in the previous years, these two teams have faced off. North Dakota State has just kind of had their number. They knocked them out in 2015, also in 2022. We know the legacy that team has. And also, guys, they're fighting because their head coach, Matt Entz, he said that he's going to resign it this year. He's going to go over and help out at USC with the Trojans. So they're hoping to keep him on as long as they can, see if they can ride it all the way and finish the job. Remains to be seen. Now, for Montana, this is a home game for them, so that's always going to help play to their advantage. It's a close matchup, though. 6-4 overall in the series. North Dakota State leads. In the last meeting, as I mentioned previously, 2022, North Dakota State blew them out 49-26 in that one. But I think it's going to be a close game. I think this is going to be a solid matchup. But I'm going to have to go with North Dakota State getting a tight win. I'll go 28-21, 7-point ball game, my final score. All right, let's keep it moving here. Dustin, Albany taking on the South State University. I believe it's the Jackrabbits. Am I right?
Yes, you are.
All right, who's going to win this one then?
Well, another week and another win by South Dakota State as they continue to be the premier program at the FCS the last couple of years. That brings their winning streak now to 27 consecutive games. Isaiah Davis had a phenomenal game on the ground against Villanova last weekend. Their quarterback had a phenomenal game both through the air and on the ground as well. So the South Dakota State continues to just show why they're so good and why they're such a dynamic team. But this is going to be an interesting test for them because Albany is kind of the Cinderella story of the entire FCS season and really the FCS playoffs for that matter. And it all starts with their quarterback, Reese Poffenberger. The guy's come out and continues to just put up numbers that not a lot of people realize how good he is until you actually dive into his stats and look at the numbers that he's put up in the FCS this year. He's getting close to 40 touchdown passes, fewer than 10 interceptions, completion percentage around 68, 69%. The guy can play. It doesn't matter if it's a small school, a smaller FBS school, or what it was. I'm not going to be surprised to see Reese Poffensberger get drafted if he decides to go into the draft next year. But even if he plays as well as he's played, it's not going to be enough. I think it's going to be another Dakota battle for the FCS National Championship next week. I'm going South Dakota State to make it 28 straight with a 31-21.
All right. Jay, is there going to be an upset in this game, or do you think South Dakota State's going to move on?
Yeah, what's that? Hey, what's that J.K. Rowling's? What's that J.K. Rowling's movie? Harry Potter. As much as Albany's quarterback sounds like a character out of Harry Potter, Poffenberger, I got to tell you, man, he does have some good numbers. 33, 71, 36 touchdowns and 10 interceptions. And I told you, as long as you don't – he's about 5 interceptions less than half, or maybe a little bit more than that. So he's still got a pretty good ratio of touchdowns to interceptions. But nevertheless, he is capable of throwing the interception, and that still kind of is a little bit of a weakness in his in his repertoire. Goranowski, on the other hand, is far less, right? He's got not as many yards as Poffenberger, about 600 or 700 yards less, but he does have 25 touchdowns, and he only has 4 interceptions, so he doesn't really turn the ball over all that much, and I think that's a big key for me. Turnovers always kill games, and I feel like Goranowski is better with protecting the ball than what Poffenberger is, so that's already one strike against Albany right there. You go down and you look at the running backs, and my God, Davis dwarfs Woodell at 1384 at 888. So that just kind of gives you a little bit right there. Now, I will say the one, and I know I'm going to mess this name up, but the one bright spot for you Albany's defense is the fact that say it for me, stat guy. How do you say that guy's last name? Junkaj? Is that how you say it? I think he's a linebacker. He's got 15 sacks for you all. I'll probably say his name wrong. I'm going to spell it for you. Junkaj. Junkaj. I'm going to say Junkaj. Whatever.
We'll roll with that.
Yeah. So he's got like 15 sacks to Veer's 6 sacks for South Dakota State. So I do think that they have a little bit better slight edge on that defensive side. But I will tell you, Logan, the one thing that the one key stat for me that tells you everything you need to know is the fact that San Diego State scores more points per game than UAlbany, and they give up less points than UAlbany at 17 for UAlbany to 10 for San Diego State. So that just tells you right there, they got the offense, they got the defense, everything is in alignment. They don't turn the ball over a whole hell of a lot. And so for all those reasons, San Diego State will meet North Dakota State in the next round. And I got San Diego State crushing UAlbany 35-17.
Quick correction, Jay. South Dakota State.
What did I say?
It's San Diego.
Yeah, South Dakota.
Very similar. And like I said, we're learning.
We don't come to South Dakota too often, so I guess my mind is still in San Diego.
I'm feeling on that. Yeah, I'll keep mine short and sweet. It's going to be the offense of South Dakota State going up against the defense of UAlbany. So it's going to be, really can they stuff Isaiah Davis? That's the big key. I was able to watch a little bit of their game last week, South Dakota State, and they look good. They look like a well-oiled machine. They look like a solid program. UAlbany, I wasn't able to catch any of their game, but like I said, they were able to get the win in the Kibbe Dome, correct, Dustin?
Yes, the arena football of the NCAA.
Yes, and if you want to see a photo of the Kibbe Dome, check out last week's episode on the FCS, and you'll see one of the strangest goalposts you'll ever see in your life in football. But that's really what it comes down to: is that can they stuff the run and can they get their offense to keep clicking? I don't think they can, so I'll have to go with South Dakota State getting the win in this one. I'll go 30-17 with Jackrabbits moving on, and as Dustin mentioned previously, in a all Dakota final once again. So we'll see how it rolls with. All right, so that will do it for there. But we're going to keep moving to the Celebration Bowl, and it's going to be Howard taking on Florida A&M. So Dustin, tell us about these two teams here and who we can think will win.
Yeah, for those that don't know too much about the Celebration Bowl, this is the only bowl that any FCS team can have. Just because the FCS go with the playoff format, they don't go with an actual bowl format. So this bowl is the annual bowl between the MEAC conference champion, which is the Howard Bison, and then obviously the SWAC conference champions, which this year it was Florida A&M, and last year it was Jackson State when Deion Sanders was at Jackson State. You kind of look at the matchup here. You have Howard, who's sitting at 6-5. Florida A&M is sitting at 11-1. Howard was 4-1 in conference play. That's how they ended up winning their conference versus Florida A&M. Pretty much just steamrolled everybody they faced this year, both in conference and non-conference. And the thing about this game is this is the first time that a lot of these teams are actually going to be able to be seen by a national audience just because it's an FCS program. It's some of those schools that are like those all-black programs where unless you live in that area, you're not going to kind of get the viewership that you would expect. Both teams have terrific quarterbacks that are kind of dual threat quarterbacks. I kind of would give Howard's quarterback the edge, but in terms of the overall team itself, Florida A&M is just a very solid team. I'm not going to put them at the same level that Jackson State was the last couple of years with Deion Sanders there, but Florida A&M is a legit program. I'm not going to be surprised if they are the next FCS program to try to make the jump to the FBS level like James Madison did. This is just not a good matchup for Howard. I'm going to go Florida A&M 42-14.
Jay, you have a similar result? You think it's going to be a big win for Florida A&M?
I got a couple of fun facts about
go
this.
Ahead.
Fun fact number one is it's nice to see HBCU schools in these bowl games. The HBCU doesn't always get a lot of attention. I think that's why Deion Sanders went to Jackson State, was to help bring more attention to the HBCU programs. That was fun fact number one. But fun fact number two, this is really my favorite fun fact, is this is Jordan versus LeBron. No, literally. No, this is literally Jordan versus LeBron.
How so?
Because Howard is a Jordan brand sponsored school. And Florida A&M is LeBron brand sponsored school. So this is literally Jordan versus LeBron. Who will win? Unfortunately, I think LeBron's going to have the edge here on that one, to the point where, I don't know. I am kind of torn. I'm going to switch it. Nope, I'm going to switch it. I'm going to go back to upset. I'm going to go with Howard and Jordan. I never go against Jordan, man. So the dude's got 4 interceptions to Musa's 7 interceptions. Hunter has 133 and 602 and 8. I mean, almost the running backs are a wash. I do believe that Jennings gets a little bit more yards per carry than what Hunter does, but it's not by a whole lot. I'm going to go with Howard scores about 23 points a game. Florida gets about 30. That's going to be points allowed. Is Howard gives up 21. Florida gives up 14. And rushing yards allowed, Florida gives up 96, and Howard gives up 186, which I think it perfectly describes the 6-5 record of Howard and why they are where they are and why Florida A&M is where it is. God, I'll tell you, Logan, all the arrows point towards Florida A&M taking this win. And if I was going to bet on this game, I would probably put a small amount of money on Howard just to see if I could get the upset, and a large amount of money on Florida A&M. As much, God, I talked myself out of it. As much as I want to go Jordan, because I never go against Jordan, I think I do have to roll with LeBron on this one. And I think it's going to be pretty rough. I think it's going to be 30 to 13. Or 30 to 10. I'm going to go 30 to 10 in favor of A&M. And
right.
LeBron.
Yeah. So for me, with this one, the SWAC is hoping to win this game for the first time since 2016. It's been quite a while since the SWAC has won this matchup here. I'm going to get back on track. We all know that Jackson State had the chance to win it the past 2 seasons, but they unfortunately could not get it done. I think that, going back to Dustin's point, Florida A&M just kind of ran through everyone this year. 10 of their 11 wins were by over 10 points. So, meanwhile, with Howard, you talk about the record. They had a lot of close games in there as well. It's not like they were dominating anyone per se. I just feel more confident picking Florida A&M, getting the W in this one. I think they'll bring it back to SWAC. I think they'll take that championship. And I think that, overall, I think the Rattlers will bring the title home in the Celebration Bowl.
Hey, and fun fact number 2 is that is the first bowl appearance for both of those schools.
Wow. So, yeah, history being made right there, and we'll see who comes out on top. All right, we're going to go down a level. Division II football. Dustin, we need your expertise for this one, brother. Harding taking on the Colorado School of Mines. Tell us about these teams, please. Played in near, I don't know if this is near you, Jay. It's in McKinney, Texas. It's not.
I don't know. I'd have to look. I'd have to Google that one. I might have to actually go to that game. You said it's in McKinney, Texas? Oh, yeah, it's McKinney, Texas. Okay.
I'm about to say in the previous game, the Howard versus Florida A&M game, that's in Atlanta. That's going to be the Mercedes-Benz Stadium. So Dustin, anyways, back on track here. Who's taking this one?
Well, for the first time in 4 years, we are going to have a new Division II champion, as Ferris State, Grand Valley State, and Minnesota State Mankato were all eliminated, and those were the last 4 national champions for Division II. But this is also a matchup between 2 programs who have never made it to the Division II national championship game before. So we are going to have a first-time champion this year in Division II between the Hardin Bison and the Colorado School of Mine Ordingers. And if you're wondering what an Ordinger is, it is a donkey. So in terms of this game, the only name that you need to know is quarterback for the Colorado School of Mines and John Matoka. For those of you that follow the NFL pretty religiously, you had Tyson Bagent, who was the starting quarterback for the Bears for 5 games this year, who was an undrafted free agent from Shepherd University, which is also a Division II program. Shepherd University actually lost to the Colorado School of Mines in the Division II playoffs last year before Colorado went out in the national semifinal game. The thing with John Matocha is this guy is probably going to be drafted this year. And I'm not going to be surprised if he is a 3rd round, maybe even a 4th round pick. He's got over 14,000 career passing yards at Division II, including 4,700 passing yards this year. He has 191 career touchdowns to 46 career interceptions. I don't care what level of college football you're playing at. Those kind of numbers are absolutely ridiculous, no matter what level you're at. He's been the engine that's made this team go the last 4 years. He's been consistent. He's gotten better every single year, and this year he's finally put everything together to put up the kind of numbers that he's put up. I thought Colorado School of Mines was going to win it last year, and then ended up losing in the national semifinal to the eventual national champion last year. But I think they get knocked the door down this year. I think Colorado School of Mines takes it this year, 38-27 over Harding.
All right. Jay McLovin, who's going to be the first-time champ?
Yeah, so in my research, I found out that McKinney, Texas is actually on the outskirts of Dallas. So it's about 3 hours north of me, straight north of me, up around the Dallas area. With that being said, yeah, like Dustin said, you got 14-0, Harding versus 14-0, School of Mines. I said this earlier, that sounds like a bunch of wimpy kids. I can't imagine that being serious, but Dustin seems to think differently. He's giving them the win in this one. I said neither team has a national title, so that kind of tells you right there. Colorado School of Mines, correct me if I'm wrong, Dustin, they are the D2 champ, I believe, correct?
No, they lost in the D2 semifinal last year.
Oh, okay. So I knew but they were in the D2 championship. I think that's what I meant. Okay, but they have been there. They have had success. It is interesting. Harding had a great game as well. And they had, correct me if I'm wrong, they held Lanier Ryan to -3 rushing yards. So clearly Harding can stop the run. Not only can they stop the run, but they put them in the negative. So that is a plus on their side of it. Machka, I guess the Mines quarterback, is the leading touchdown producer in college football history. Logan, did you know that?
I did not, Jay. Thank you for that.
You may want to go check that out, man. That Colorado School of Mines has a really good quarterback out there. And Makata, I can't say that guy's name.
John Matocha.
There you go.
Yeah.
That'll work.
The Harding quarterback and running back combined for 255 yards not long ago. So I think that's a good thing to cue on, is that number one, Harding can stop the run. They also have a good running back and quarterback combination on doing the run between Blake and Harding. Harding put up over 500 yards, Logan, on Lanier Ryan. Okay. So I'm gonna go with Ryan on this. I'm gonna go with Harding on this one. I know that sounds crazy. I know you're going Colorado School of Mines. I'm gonna go Harding and that run defense and that run offense, and I think it's gonna be about the same score as what Dustin gave, just in the reverse order, Logan.
Yeah, I mean, this is gonna be a solid matchup. You look at these teams; they can score the ball on offense with the best of them. They both put up over 45 points a game. Their offense, they put up well over 450. That's where Colorado kind of outshines them. Their defense, they both play stout defense, only a 6-yard difference, give or take. And they can both just beat the crap out of a team on third down, which is huge. So I think this is going to be a good matchup, though, between Harding and the Colorado School of Mines. It's kind of a toss-up, honestly. And like you said, both these teams are going to come into this one wanting to bring home that championship for the first time in school history. So that being said, I think it's gonna be a close game, but I'll have to go with the Ore Diggers getting the win in this one. I'll go final score, fellas. I want this to be high scoring. I kind of want the defense to maybe go out the window a little bit, just because I like some high scoring affairs, and that way I can really see some good offense being played. So that being said, final score in this one, final score 35-32 in favor of the Ordigers. I just love the name also. So
And
I'll
that,
go
yeah,
with that.
that game is on ESPNU on Saturday for those that want to watch it.
It'll be at I'm assuming noon Eastern is the time here.
Yes.
In McKinney, Texas. So check it
So
out.
the Diggers, that's School of Mines, right?
Correct.
Yeah, the Ordingers is a school of mines.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I don't know about you, Logan, but it seems to me one thing I've noticed about this FCF stuff is all their dang players' names are hard as hell to pronounce. It's almost like hockey names. I think like the FCS is almost like a bunch of hockey names.
Hockey and soccer names just kind of combined.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
And I know Jay is going to be happy. We'll take a break from that once college football season's over. He can break up and get ready for next year. All right, guys. Final game on the slate here. We're going to Division III now. We're going to be talking Cortland and North Central. Dustin Reese, please tell us, what are we getting into with this Division III championship here?
Well, you got the North Central Cardinals, who were last year's Division III champions. They were the 2021 Division III runner-up, and now they're trying to be the 2023 national champions. So North Central's just been on a roll the last 3 years, and realistically, you could say they've been on a roll the last 7 years because 6 of the last 7 years they've made it to the national semifinal or the national championship game. So this is pretty much the premier program in Division III right now. They've kind of taken over for the Mount Unions, who won 9 national championships in a row. They took over for Whitewater, who won 6 or 7 of those in a row, and now it's kind of North Central that's kind of taken over that stranglehold on the best team in Division III. They're a small school of about 33, maybe 3,400 kids just north of the Chicago area. So it's roughly about 3 hours away from where I live. So I've seen a lot of North Central play. They played UW Lacrosse in the national quarterfinal game and beat them 55-49, and it was probably the best D3 game of the entire season, realistically, because there was only one punt in that game. That punt was returned for a touchdown, which is how North Central won anyways. So maybe it would have been better off if they don't punt, but North Central wins this game. It would be national championship number 7 for them. And then on the other side, you got the sunny Cortland Dragons, who are having a Cinderella season of their own. This is the best season they've had in program history. They've been to the national championship game before, but they were a 2 or 3 loss team the last time they got there and then ended up losing the national championship game by like 35 points that year. This year, they're 12-1. I believe they've won 10 straight games since their lone loss, and they've gotten better throughout the year, and they actually pulled up probably the biggest upset of the Division III playoffs when they beat Randolph-Macon out of Georgia this past weekend. Randolph-Macon was actually the favorite to knock off North Central if they both met in the national championship game. So to see Sunny Cortland knock them off kind of shows you how good this Sunny Cortland team is. But I can't really go against North Central right now. They've been the dominating team the last 3 years, and they might even have a better team this year than what they had last year. But I do think this will be a higher scoring game. I'm looking at 45-34 North Central.
All right. Jay McLovin, who's getting the win in this one, buddy?
Yeah, absolutely. So this is the D3 championship, and Cortland ranks 6th in D3 in total offense, and North Central ranks number 1 in scoring and total offense. So you already got number 1 versus number 6 in terms of offense to start it all off with. Cortland is making his first appearance in the championship. North Central are the champions coming off. So, yeah, man, Lehman, all the stats point in the favor of North Central. So, like Dustin, man, I'm not going to go up against North Central or go against North Central for what they're doing. Cortland, I think if Cortland wins, it would definitely be an upset, or at least viewed as an upset. So I'm going to go North Central, man. But I don't know. It could be a close game. I think North Central or Cortland could make it tough. So I'll go 28-21 favor of North Central. But, man, that Joe Sacco, he's got like almost 1,700 yards and 19 touchdowns to Alfonso, who's got 1,378 yardage and 17. So it's going to be good to see those two running backs go head-to-head.
For me, I mean, this is a legit, David versus Goliath story. It's a team who not a lot of people pick to even be in this position against someone who, since 2019, Jay, since you like giving out stats, I'll give you one. Since 2019, the Cardinals are 56-2. They've lost 2 games in 3-4 years. That is wild to me.
Yeah, and one of those losses was that national championship
You're right.
game.
I mean, they the thing about them and about North Central is that they are just kind of blowing through everyone. It's kind of like how we talked with North Dakota State, with the Bison, how they were on that immaculate run, how we see kind of schools get on. But like you mentioned, though, going to the Red Dragons in Cortland, I mean, they got a really solid offense, right? It's the highest scoring team in their history. 655, they're on the year total. Their offense averaging around 500-plus yards a game. So, I mean, they're a solid team. They are a solid team, and they're not someone to mess with. It's also the first team from New York to get here to reach the Stag Bowl since 1991. So it's been a long time coming. But for me, I can't go against the powerhouse. I would love to see an upset, but I just can't predict it. So give me North Central getting the big win in this one. I'll go North Central 42, and I'll go Cortland 21. Well, guys, as always, it's a pleasure. Jay McLevin, Dustin Reese, appreciate y'all as always coming on here, talking some college football and some different light and some different teams that we normally don't highlight, but it's always good. Switch things up and go down a different path. Always fun, guys. Hey, if you guys enjoyed our video here today, give us a like, follow, share, subscribe on all of our social media channels. Best way to do that is in our link tree description of all of our videos. Just click on it and you'll be able to see all of our social media platforms. And once again, we got a lot of great stuff over there. Guys, appreciate your hard work as always. I've been your host, producer, Logan Landers. We'll talk to y'all again on another live episode. We'll see you soon.